Good afternoon and welcome to the marketplace. My name is Winston Taki. Coming up in this bulletin, International Monetary Fund Executive Board approves disbursement of $367 million for Ghana after passing the country on the fourth program review. We will also hear from the Finance Minister, Dr. Attoforsen, on how the funds will be used. Also, President Dramani Mahama reveals Ghana's international reserves hit 6 months high to 6 months of import cover as he projects it reaching record levels in coming months.
It's also leading to an increase in our reserves. We currently have about 6 months of import cover, one of the highest in the last 15 years. If it continues, we are threatening to hit 10 months of import cover, which will be the highest we've ever had in the history of Ghana.
Also, government recapitalized National Investment Bank with some 1.4 billion cedis to help put the bank on strong footing. This and more coming up. Now let's bring you updates on how the cedi is performing against major global currencies. And now to our first business story. Some $367 million from IMF should hit the Bank of Ghana's account before the close of this week. This was after the executive board of the IMF passed the country on its fourth program review.
The approval for these funds to be disbursed is coming after the board of the International Monetary Fund maintained it is satisfied with the progress made by the country under the IMF program. It also praised Ghana on steps that it has taken to meet those targets set under the fund program. But despite this progress, the fund had some concerns about the economy, arguing that additional measures still need to be undertaken by the government to firmly stabilize the economy. Meanwhile, the finance minister, in a post on his social media handle, described the development as a positive indicator for ongoing reforms and fiscal discipline, as well as commitment to sound economic management by government. The finance minister added that the approval by the board is also coming at a time that the country continues to demonstrate measurable progress in implementing comprehensive reforms. On how the money will be used, the finance minister revealed that it will be advanced towards providing crucial budget support aimed at supporting ongoing programs expected to help stabilize the economy.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Dr. Attoforsen has revealed that the IMF cash will be advanced towards financing programs and some projects identified in the 2025 budget. IMF cash has primarily been used as balance of payment support, but it appears that it's changing. The Bank of Ghana will take the funds and release the cedi equivalent of the $367 million to the Finance Ministry upon request from the Finance Minister. Joining me in studio is my colleague, George Wiafe. George, what else is the IMF statement saying?
So if you go through the statement, apart from what the finance minister said, that is the IMF has actually catalogued a lot of things if you go through. And some of them has to do with the fact that, given us a background of how we got here, the challenges that we've been going through for Ghana's program, what happened last year, nearly derailed actually, but it appears that this administration also took some very drastic measures to bring it back on track. If you go through the statement, one thing that you find is that Ghana has enacted what they call some strong budget and public financial management reforms. So it appears that the reforms hasn't even been tightened further, if I can use that expression, tighten monetary policy and also adjust the electricity prices. If you talk about the bit about tightening monetary policy, one could talk about the policy rate and how that has impacted on inflation. Some would also argue that some of the measures that has resulted in the cedi being stable has got to do with what the Bank of Ghana did. So already you could see that the impact of the fund program, the actions of the Bank of Ghana is broadly impacting on the economy as well. Also, strengthening of budget controls and audit of payables accumulated in 2024. Yesterday, you heard the president saying that they are going to pay road contractors. What we didn't know, or what was not out in the public, was that there was an audit going on by the Controller and Accountant General, actually, to establish that if, Winston, you say that you did X work for government and this is the amount they're supposed to pay you, is that true? Who audited the project? Who gave you the advance to go ahead and all those things? It appears that that audit has been completed. And that is why the president is now saying that those who are supposed to be paid, they'll be paid. That is what the fund is actually raising issues about. All those things need to be done. Strengthening of revenue mobilization. If you go through the statement, the fund is arguing that, see, the success of this program depends largely on mobilizing the required revenue, whilst you also take steps to cut back on expenditure and ensure that if you raise X amount of revenue, this is what you're spending. The fund thinks that a lot more things need to be done to raise in more revenue. If you are aware that the president has even said, the finance minister has even said that they submitted some proposed reforms to the IMF when it comes to the VAT rationalization and all other things being equal, September should take off. There's an AFRITAC meeting in Abuja as you go on that government is making a case after the audits and even the presentation and even the advice that going forward, this is what we're going to do to improve revenue.
I see
the
some
statement
views on high non-performing loans as well.
And of course, if recently the governor said that they are going to implement some new measures to try and deal with that issue, you realize the problem with the non-performing loans is about its impact even on cost of credit, its impact on the viability of these commercial banks. We understand that government has even advanced some 1.4 billion Ghana cedis to help recapitalize the NIB. It has a whole impact on the entire economy. And therefore, what this fund program is trying to do is that take certain critical actions in all sectors when it comes to revenue, when it comes to expenditure, when it comes to government checking how it does programs and all those things, even when it comes to the monetary space as well. What is government doing and what is the Bank of Ghana also doing to ensure that they raise the required, that is when it comes to the policy rate, tighten the space and ensure that they check inflation. So when you go through the statement, you see that they have raised all these issues and trying to ensure that the program is actually on track.
Okay. So I think most of the policy in the banking sector, we've seen the non-performing loans and all that. But I want to understand that how is this going to impact the business community, especially based on some of the trajectory that the IMF have proposed?
In audits, in ratings, they always say that you can't get a better rating than your sovereign, being government. So there's always a trickle-down effect. If the fund in its statement is saying that the company Ghana is on track in trying to check expenditure, is on track to ensure that they are raising the required revenue, is trying to bring inflation down. For those investors out there who are dealing with maybe Kojo Mensah and co in Ghana, they now appreciate that the environment is okay. They now appreciate that there's a big brother that is checking the government to ensure that they don't spend where they don't have to spend. Therefore, if they grant a loan, if they give a loan to your company, Winston, your ability to turn around that cash and pay them back is assured. And therefore, that confidence bit is also going to help the business community. You see inflation rate coming down. It has an impact on cost of credit as well. You see that the Bank of Ghana is also trying to do everything to try and stabilize the currency the impact of a stabilized currency, even on the business environment, even on the cost of credit, even on the cost of input as well. So if you engage some of the persons in the business community, you realize that they are quite excited about what the fund has done. It is not for them, it is not just about the 369 that is coming in, but also what this will mean for the entire economy, for the investors responding, and how they can also depend on that to grow their enterprise.
Finally, the big picture always points out to the city. How does it look for the city?
Well, this 300-something coming in, again, will show up the Bank of Ghana's reserves. And for some, it is very, very critical because then many people would want to hinge the city's performance on the state of a country's reserves. So it looks like, based on the verdicts, the funds saying they are on track. For those who are betting on the local currency, who think that, oh, things are going to be bad, so let me rush and demand it. Statements like these and actions by the fund and your reserves improving could go a long way to deal with activities of speculators and also bring about some confidence that would also help in stabilizing local currency.
George, I appreciate your time here on the marketplace. We'll surely be following up subsequently on this development. Thank you so much. So that was my colleague, George Wiafe, bringing us up-to-date analysis on the IMF statement and assessment of Ghana's economy. Now moving on, President John Mahama has revealed that the country's international reserves has reached 6 months of import cover. The development should mean that it is now more than $10.6 billion announced by the Bank of Ghana in April this year. Speaking at a meeting with members of the Council of State, the president disclosed that it could hit historic levels in the coming weeks.
We had left a free-for-all in the gold trading industry, and this country was hardly benefiting. I mean, in times past, we received only 50% of what we should get from our gold exports. Today, happily, the returns on gold exports has more than doubled, and that is responsible for part of the stability we're seeing in the currency. The establishment of the Gold Board was one of the important instruments in the reset agenda, and we made it illegal for any person unauthorized to buy gold and take it out of this country. And so the quantities have increased. Happily, the international price is good, and so we're seeing better forex inflows into our central bank, and it's also leading to an increase in our reserves. We currently have about 6 months of import cover, one of the highest in the last 15 years. If it continues, we are threatening to hit 10 months of import cover, which will be the highest we've ever had in the history of Ghana, and that should be able to be a buffer in terms of any global shocks that might come in the future.
Meanwhile, government has recapitalized National Investment Bank with some 1.4 billion cedis. The move, sources say, is part of effort to put the bank on a strong footing. There is more in the following report.
Sources say the support is coming in the form of cash and government papers like bonds to assist the bank. The National Investment Bank was one of the financial institutions that was recently identified as needing some fresh funding to support its expansion and operations. The action by government should go a long way to put the bank on a strong footing. It was one of those critical actions that government should have undertaken before it could have gone to the IMF board for the fourth program review. One is not sure for now whether similar support will be extended to other financial institutions that government also has some significant stake in them.
We have more business update for you right after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the marketplace. My name is Winston Taki, and now to more news. As youth unemployment continues to pose a national challenge, the Springboard Roadshow Foundation has identified agriculture and technical and vocational education and training as as key sectors with the potential to address the issue. Since 2023, the foundation has partnered with the MasterCard Foundation to roll out the Ghana Growth Programme, an initiative aimed at shifting negative perceptions about careers in agriculture and TVET. Executive Director of Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Comfort Okran, says the program, which highlights opportunities along agriculture's extended value chain, has already engaged over 440,000 young people nationwide. Kwame Yanka reports.
Launched in 2023, the Ghana Growth Programme aims to tackle unemployment by shifting negative mindset around agriculture and technical vocational training through media campaigns, community theatre, and targeted mentorship. Young people are being introduced to the untapped potential in agribusiness, from fruit juice processing to agri-tech innovation. So far, the program has impacted over 440,000 youth nationwide, with about 76% being young women. Ensuring inclusivity, more than 12,000 persons with disabilities have also been integrated into the program. Speaking after the premiere of the Ghana Growth film series at Ashaiman here in the Greater Accra region, Executive Director of Springboard Roadshow Foundation, Comfort Okran, shares impact of the program.
We also have the hangout, which goes to the communities and see what things people are doing in the community and how we can work with it. We also have something like policy dialogues where we talk to stakeholders, people who have the opportunity in either the formal or informal sector, and together we come to have a dialogue. We also have focus group discussions where young people from different communities sit down to talk about the challenges and then they bring out solutions to them. So what happens is that a young person who comes into the community and kind of learns about, the opportunities in the extended value chain, decides that, okay, I thought agric did not have opportunity, but I found out through the education, through the hands-on training that we did today in the Ashaman Park or whichever park that we met, and that indeed I can work and add value to agri products.
Co-producer of the Ghana Growth film series, Elom Anand, says partners playing different roles have helped in the success journey.
We met people, we heard their stories, we heard their challenges, and then we saw the opportunities and possibilities, and we merged the stories with the opportunities and possibilities in the region to get the people to know that there's so much opportunity in their space. They can do a lot in the ATVET space, in agri-business, agri-processing, in TVET, all the ways or all the different aspects of TVET. And so we tried as much as possible to capture the story so that the people would resonate with the community that it was set in. And the other thing we also did was to work with the community people. So we did not only bring actors from Accra to go into all the communities, but as we were filming there, we identified talent and then we cast them and we trained them and then we used them for the films.
Meanwhile, some actors in the series are excited about the opportunity the program has offered.
I had this vision of going in for the performing arts course, but whenever I mention it, I get discouraged. And then I think the one thing that we lacked in Ghana here was the motivation for such people. But Ghana Growth came in and then has brought the motivation. And now I can boldly say with my full chest that I am a current student of the School of Performing Arts University of Ghana.
Ghana Growth, actor, but Ghana Growth, improve.
As an actor, this has improved my lot, and I will urge all and sundry to support this program.
At first, I was a little bit shy, but I got out of my shell, and I acted in so many places, which I'm so grateful for, which I did not expect. So Ghana Growth has really, really changed my life.
As part of the project, 16 real-life community stories have been developed, with 3 films being showcased from the Eastern, Central and Greater Accra regions, promoting dignified and fulfilling jobs in agribusiness.
In other development, decades of struggle for farmers and traders in Afrancho in the Offensive North District have finally come to an end. Today, a new dawn broke with the official opening of their long-awaited Friday market. Led by chiefs, assembly officials and the MP, the community celebrated a marketplace designed to boost the local economy, create jobs and tackle poverty. And now Sabit has more.
For generations, dawn in Afrancho meant back-breaking work in the fields and a long journey just to sell what you would have grown. Decades passed without a proper market. Farmers here, the lifeblood of the community, faced grueling trips to distant towns eating into profits and time. Dreams of a vibrant local hub just out of reach. But today, that dream is a reality. Witness the birth of Afrancho's Friday market. Led by their chiefs, the district assembly and member of parliament, people of Afrancho are celebrating a new dawn for trade and community. Caesar Ofusua Champon is the Offensive North District Chief Executive. He is the brain behind the revival of this market.
As you can see, today is the first day, but you can see the euphoria. Look at the way market men and women are eager to come and trade here. We want to expand commerce and trading. That is what Ashantis are known of. That is the main reason why I want to make sure that every market in Offensive North Municipality will be in operation.
Caesar Ofusua Champon says the move would, amongst other things, improve the local economy and in turn improve the assembly's internally generated funds.
Now, as you can see, people are buying, people are selling. That is the onset of the local economy appreciation. So that is the main reason why we are here. We want to expand local economy. And then through that, we will get IGF for the assembly.
Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Fred Che Asamoah, noted that the new market space will lead to job creation for the youth and the people in general, and asked that enough support will be provided to help it grow.
We have to make sure that every aspect of trading should be done in a constructive manner and in well-organized area. And it can also lead to job creation because the farmer who is farming has a place to sell his goods, and somebody can also buy those goods, process it, and resell them. So you create a lot of jobs along the value chain.
The excitement here is palpable. Joy, relief, and hope fill the air thicker than the scent of fresh earth and ripe fruit. This market promises more than commerce. It promises connection, community, and a tangible step out of poverty, as some of these traders share their excitements with Joy News. We are very excited that we finally have our own market. The entire traders here are happy because we know this will help improve our finances and our jobs. So we'll forever be grateful. In the past, we were worried because we had no market, but we are very happy today. We'll be able to sell and make money to take care of our children.
That's all for business. For more news, visit myjoyonline.com and click the business column, and you'll be having Ghana's international reserves hit 6 months of import cover, where the president was speaking with regards to our covering, especially how the economy will be in the next month. And that's all for today. My name is Winston Taki. Thanks for watching. Have a good business day. Bye-bye.